Hey, it's your boy Easy, and on today's episode of Easy Opens, we're going to be taking a look at the Jazwares Pokemon Select Dragapult figure. Now, this is a Target exclusive here in the United States, and it is apparently, according to the sticker on the box, a part of the Trainer Team series, which I hope is some indication of them starting to turn the line into something that will help collectors complete some popular trainer teams from like the manga and the anime and the game. That would be legit. I'd be 100% about that. But speaking of something I'm not really 100% about is this box. Not the biggest fan of this box, but we don't really care about boxes here on Easy Opens, so let's ditch that and take a look at Dragapult. So here is Dragapult, a dual-type Dragon Ghost pseudo-legendary Pokemon who first appeared in Pokemon Gen 8's Sword and Shield as the final evolution of Dreepy? It's probably Dreepy, like sleepy. It's probably Dreepy, from back in 2019. Its appearance is based on a Lepos Pondylus, I think is how you say that, and modern stealth bombers, which is amazing. This thing looks pretty darn accurate to its source material, so let's go ahead and talk about the paint and the sculpt. The colors on this figure contrast and complement each other really well, just like the character in the video game, and it's translated very well here in plastic. The end of the tail being translucent is great. I'm a huge fan of translucent plastic, and that's just having that little bit there is just, I don't know, I love it. And then all the little angles going up the chest gives it kind of like a reptilian kind of look, like as if it was some sort of like scale on the character, but also like arrows you might see on an airport runway, which, I mean, I know that's more of a character design thing and less of the action figure, but still, I love it so much. And the gradient on the back where it transitions to the different colors is just really well done. So yeah, the eyes, the eyelids and everything, juxtaposed with the little Dreepy like missiles, like I love the look on Dragapult's face. It's got that kind of disgruntled clerk who's sick of your shit kind of look to him. Like I don't know, and it's just so good. It's got so much personality. When it comes to the sculpt, I think they dead on nailed the character. Like the angles and just the way the size of it, just the overall vibe that it has is the same kind of vibe that I would get seeing it in the video game. I'd be like, oh snap, like that's a cool Pokemon. I want to go catch this thing. And the juxtaposition of the sleek angularness of the head with the organic smoothness of the rest of the body is just great. Like just in character design alone, but executed here in plastic form is done extremely well, and I'm like really impressed with it. And the bendy tail is great. I'm usually not a big fan of the bendy kind of stuff because I feel like that plastic could deteriorate a little bit quicker than you would like, potentially. However, I don't know how else they would have done this. I mean, they could have made it just a solid plastic piece, but what's the fun in that? This is a toy after all. But one thing that's kind of neat that I didn't notice originally is that on the actual tail, it says all new material filling. And it says wire stiffener. Wire stiffener. So there's that. But that's a fun, cool way to get that figure to do that. And then again, with the translucent tail, it gives it that ghost element, which is just fantastic. Now, this figure comes with a clear plastic base with an articulated flight stand, and it works extremely well for this figure because he just floats around and just kind of drifts away. Now, according to Bulbapedia, an average Dragapult weighs around 110 pounds and stands at about 9 foot 10 inches. Now, given that this is a character that does fly, you could argue that with his tail included, that he can get up to, about that same size in inches. So I've got mine sitting at almost 8 inches tall on the stand. And so I'm pretty happy with the size of this character in plastic form compared to what the Bulbapedia listing. All right, so now let's talk about some articulation. All right, so let's take a look at the articulation you're going to get out of Dragapult. Starting with the head, you can get up quite a bit, and then he also looks down considerable amount more. There's very slight, if at all, left to right movement on the head. You have a ab crunch, sort of, kind of, maybe. Waist crunch, I don't know. Can't really turn it, or at least mine is very tight. You might be able to turn yours, but mine does not seem like it wants to budge. At the arms, you got what looks to be 360 at the shoulder there. You can see it now. And tons of articulation. You got double jointed elbows, and then you've got some wrist articulation there as well, which seems like a lot for this little guy. Then moving down to the legs, you have 360 at the legs, plus some, you get some wiggle room. Mine's a little tight, but yeah, you get a little joint in there. You get a single jointed knee, and then a hinge with 360 at the ankle. And then you get the bendy tail. I guess that counts as a point of articulation. So, yeah, so there you go. So there is the articulation that you're going to get. Oh, wait, I didn't even think about this. But the Dreppies get a little bit of twist. So there you go. That's cool. So there you go. There's the articulation you're going to get out of Dragapult. So now let's take a look how it compares to some other figures you might have in your collection. Here it is next to the Pokemon Select Greninja figure and Bandai Model Kit Gardevoir. Here it is next to Ash and Pikachu from SH Figuarts, Appleton, Yamper, and Wooloo from Jazwares, and Marnie and Morpeko from Figma. Here it is next to a Snorlax Bank figure and Jazwares Epic Battle figure Gyarados. Here it is next to NECA's 1987 animated series Slash figure and Beef Boss from Jazwares. Here it is next to Wolverine from Marvel Legends and Toad from World of Nintendo. Here it is next to Dragoman from Masters of the Universe Classics and Grimlock. And here it is with World of Nintendo's Bowser figure and Jazwares Epic Battle figure Dragonite. Alright, so final thoughts. Dragapult is awesome. I was a big fan of this character back whenever it came out in Sword and Shield, and I was really excited about it and thought it looked cool, and I loved the idea of combining the bomber jet with the what is it called, the Lepos Pondalus, and just thought it looked really neat, and I loved the idea of it. And the Dreepies on the like the top used as missiles. Oh, that was fantastic, and I loved that, and I love Pokemon for that, just the weird, quirky combinations of things. And I think that Jazwares totally nailed the look of this character, like 100%. At first, I was a little bit thrown off by the size of it. However, reading on Bulbapedia that it's normally about almost 10 foot tall, this kind of makes sense. And so that kind of helped me get used to the idea of it being this big. And I can't really describe it. There's just something uniquely cool about this figure, and the colors just look so good. And I think it has something to do with the look on its face too, that it's just got this like smug kind of like sly look to it. And it's just, I don't know, it's just really cool. And I'm very happy to have this on my shelf. I really don't have any complaints about this figure. It does everything that I wanted it to do. It looks just like the figure, and the flight stand works extremely well with it. So it just kind of does it. I think they nailed it. I can't really say anything more about it. It looks great. It feels great. I mean, the articulation is a little hindered based on the design, but that's a minor nitpick, and I don't know that you're going to need to get this figure into some poses that some added articulation would enable it to do without breaking up the sculpt. And so I'm totally okay with this. It looks fantastic from every angle. This thing just looks so neat, and is so unique. And that's what I come to Pokemon for. And I think that if you're a Pokemon fan, you're going to like this figure. And if you just like weird looking figures, pick this thing up, because it just has this like look to it that just, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. That could be the 90s kid in me that loved the Stealth Bomber and was like, that thing looks cool as hell. Like, I want one of those. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, good job, Jazwares. I think you nailed it with this one. And yeah, if you're out looking for this, definitely pick it up, because I don't think you'll be disappointed, because, well, I wasn't. All right, well, that's going to do it for me today. Thanks so much for watching, and if you liked what you saw, hit the like button. And if you want to see more from me for some reason, please hit the subscribe button as well. And if you want to hear and see more from me, you can do that by looking up this thing, Turtle Soup Podcast or Turtle Soup Show, whatever we're calling it, in YouTube and wherever you find podcasts. And you can find me and my friend Ryan talking about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at least twice a month. And yeah, until next time, Elsetime.